Let's bring you details of our stories now. President John Dramani Mahama has described the devastating fire at the Central Business District of Adum in the Ashanti region as a wake-up call for a comprehensive redesign of the country's market structures to ensure better accessibility during emergencies. His comments follow concerns raised by fire officers and emergency service providers who attributed the rapid spread of Friday's fire to severe congestion and limited access routes within the market area. Now, ChannelOne News' Bureau Chief for the Middle Belt, Hafiz Tijani, has more.
On a normal Friday, this place would have been very busy with a lot of trading activities going on. So this is where we have local footwear manufacturers plying their trade here. We have other traders who are engaging in several other activities. We have repairers of wristwatch, sunglasses, and people who are in retail trading in terms of cosmetic products. But it is not a situation on a Friday like this one because fire has ravaged this section of the market. This is the center of the Central Business District, Adum. A lot of people trade here and the devastation is just unbearable for people who are coming here. We've been here since morning trying to engage affected traders and other stakeholders. The president, of course, was here to also empathize with the victims. The authorities are taking steps like this one, trying to create access points to ensure that fire officers are able to confine the fire so that there's no any further spread of the fire incident. We'll be speaking to several other stakeholders, including the fire officers and also the victims.
However, lack of access routes due to congestion made firefighting efforts difficult, allowing the flames to spread to nearby stores where second-hand clothing and cosmetics are sold. For victims like Eric Apia, the experience has been traumatic.
My news and I'm say my building. I'm sorry about the whole building no ejadem na free soro na eba fom. Enti ejina ha sa me next shop so ye perfume shops are different person there. Enti ho na ja no me hu say dikin ato. Nana to tuo sa nti ani ba so no. Ye jina ha sa na ye hwe sa na say duru ye ho no so. Chese store no say all the camera ni tuma from 3 to 3 yashi. Chese say dwetire ni bibi ewum bia ni nkrofo no mom bia fie nyina ase. Chese say e be ka say to ye ba be gbosika de ye ntimi mosika sese. Fe ne e kohwe ye ka ne ade na ye hu de ye so ye.
Security personnel, including the military, police, and fire service, worked together in a coordinated effort to contain the fire. Despite their efforts, 9 people, including 3 firefighters, sustained injuries.
In fire outbreak, it's always obvious that people would have panic attacks, and people who are working to control the fire can't get involved in one way or the other, injuries and all that. So we attended to about 3 fire officers who were injured, and we moved them to Menshia and then Confornature hospitals. And we also attended to other victims or casualties who had panic attacks. Some had some trauma, things fell on them, and we have to attend to all of them and move them to the hospitals. So in all, as we talk now, we've attended to about 9 casualties.
Speaking on the incident, Chief Fire Officer Daniela Mausi Ntosapon emphasized the urgent need to better equip the Ghana National Fire Service to handle large-scale fires like this one.
Oliver always has come up. The president, the government has assured us that very soon they are doing some procurement for us. And we can assure you, very soon we will have new equipment to beef up the old ones we are using.
Would you recommend the use of drones in fighting our fire, if there are advanced equipment of fighting fire in terms of this incident, accessibility was so down.
Yes, that's a service we are thinking aloud. When it gets there, we'll cross the river when we get there.
President John Dramani Mahama, who was on an official visit to the region, arrived at the scene to assess the damage and commiserate with affected traders. He described the fire as a wake-up call for Ghana to redesign its market structures, ensuring better accessibility for emergency responders.
So adeɛ baako a fire for aka kyerɛ me ne sɛ ɔmbɛduru yɛ no sɛ na ɔmbɛtumi awura mu etimi akodum gya no ɛno yɛ adeɛ baako a ɛha ɔmo yie na wohwɛ a yɛdwam bebree saa na ɛteɛ nti ɛgya to mu a sɛ na fire for betimi aduru hɔ etimi dum gya ne ntɛm no na abɛyɛ ɔhaw ama ɔmo nti ɔsɛ yɛdi wɔ esua nyansa na yɛhwɛ yɛdwa no da yɛ planning ne yie sɛ na ɛbɛyɛ a bibi kosi a na etimi aso ano ntɛm nti yɛne minister ne edwadifo no ɛbɛka yɛaka kyerɛ nadmo sɛ ɔmo bɛhwɛ na ɔmo mpɛ ɛmoa bi ɛmfa mmɔ ɔmo kakra yɛne chief of staff nso bɛkasa nti nea Asante regional minister ɛne ɔmo bɛka no na yɛahwɛ ɛmoa a yɛbɛtumi deɛ aboa ɔmo sɛ na ɛbɛyɛ a ɔmo so ɔmo bɛnya ɛyi comfort kakra ɔmo ɛne ɔhaw a ato ɔmo no sɛ na ɛbɛyɛ a
as fire officers worked to contain the last flames, police arrested 5 individuals for allegedly taking advantage of the chaos to loot shops. Meanwhile, excavators were deployed to demolish sections of the market to create access routes for emergency teams. For now, affected traders are counting their losses as investigations into the cause of the fire begin.
There's still fire in this building, although fire officers are making frantic efforts to contain the situation. Smoke has engulfed this section of the market, making visibility a very huge challenge in fighting the fire. Traders here are calling today a very sad day because of the loss the fire has caused to their property. Hafiz Tijani, ChannelOne News, Kumasi, Ashanti Region.
Our Middle Belt Bureau Chief Hafiz Tijani is currently at the Adum market to provide the latest update on the fire. Let's go over and speak to you, Hafiz. Hafiz, thank you so much. You have been on the beat since dawn when the fire started. What is the latest?
So Nana, behind me you can see fire, pockets of fire in that building there. That was the focus of the Ghana National Fire Service, trying to contain that fire there, because the building here houses a number of warehouses where you have these inflammables stored in them. You are still hearing the explosions and the blast from the building. At first, or in the afternoon, there was no access, and fire officers were having a difficult time getting through to this place. But there's been an excavation of this place in the afternoon. Now they are having access. When we came here, the fire engine, one of the fire engines, was here to douse the flame, and the water, they have run out of water, and they have gone back to refill and then come back to continue. Behind me, you can see people still moving away their wares. Some of the shops, because they were broken into to salvage some of these goods, the owners of these shops are afraid that if they should leave it ajar, people might go in and maybe loot their shops. So they don't want to go that tangent. They don't want to take that risk. So they are employing the services of the headquarters to kind of evacuate all the items from those shops to a safer location. Now, let me show you something interesting I found here. You know, the president, when he came here, raised concern about the number of gas cylinders that are being used in the market. And these are the debris. As part of the debris, you see number of gas cylinders here. I can count about 3 of them just here in the pictures. And these are some of the combustibles that were reigniting the fire and making the fire spread to other areas. But the focus for the fire officers is to contain this fire. We have some military personnel. The police are also here assisting the officers of the Ghana National Fire Service to contain the fire. But I spoke with the regional commander of the fire, Ghana National Fire Service. He has assured that he and his men are here. They are going to maybe spend the night until they contain this spread. They are not leaving. And that is what he has said, the assurance he has given.
Very well. Hafiz, how many fire tenders are attending to this fire? Because you just mentioned earlier that the engine that was there is going to refuel or restock. And I'm wondering if it's just one that is currently fighting the fire.
No, we have several others. Other fire tenders are at the other end. So there's fire at the other end of this building, this particular building, and other fire engines are taking care of that. But in the morning when we were doing this report, we saw the drip machines, that the tankers that were used to bring in water to help in the efforts of providing water to these fire engines. So we are seeing the arrival of another fire engine.
Very well.
That is coming in here, being directed to this place so that the water can be contained. So now the fire service is having a very smooth and an easy entry here because of the excavation that has been done because of the access. So this engine is just going to stop by, and the firefighting effort will continue, Nana.
Very well, Hafiz. Thank you so much, and please keep safe. We'll come back for some more updates as the firefighting continues. But thank you so very much. Hafiz Tijani is Middle Belt Bureau Chief, and he is at the scene of the fire currently in Adum, in the Ashanti region. Now, joining us via Zoom is Benjamin Obeng Entry. He is the Ashanti West Public Relations Officer for the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG. Will be responding to reports that a power outage may have caused the fire at the Adum market. Well, thank you so much for your time, sir. Grateful that you could join us. These reports that we are picking up that a possible power outage may have sparked the fire outbreak at the Adum market. Are you able to confirm or deny this?
Thank you very much, and a very good evening to your cherished viewers. And to respond to this, we would say that we want to wait for the official reports of the fire service to come out first. But we want our cherished customers to note this, that when you go to the Adum Central Business Center, we have a dedicated stop line. That's a distribution line that goes there, known as the town hall distribution line, what ECG engineers will term as feeder. And aside that, we have an alternative source that goes there, which is the powerhouse too, because the Adum Central Business Center is viewed as one of the revenue hubs of ECG, because a lot of our customers are centered and they come there to trade. So ensure reliable power supply to that enclave has been a topmost priority to the management and staff of ECG in the Ashanti West region. However, the transformers that serve the enclave has experienced some vandalized activities in recent times. That's the last one, which occurred about 2 weeks ago, whereby some individuals went in there to steal the switches as well as cutting the cables, among other things, which resulted in an outage to that enclave. It's not just that area alone. There is one also adjoining, that's the old Melcom area there. For that one, the one at the old Melcom, when it occurred, some traders suffered an outage which lasted for 48 hours. But the one closer to the scene of the fire today, that is closer to the LOFM area, which we know as the Gaggisburg area, when it happened, next morning our team went there to replace the fuse and then relay the cables, and then our church customers got power supply. But yesterday evening, there was still power supply. But even this morning, before the fire even started, the power supply was stable until we put off power, because once the fire started, we had to put off power to enable fire service do their work. And even as we speak, we have not restored power supply fully to that enclave, because as Afeez rightly showed, the fire is still occurring in that enclave. So some parts are having power supply, but others have been put off. And it's even important to know that we have also lost a transformer due to this fire outbreak over there. Our transformer was totally bent. We've lost about 5 poles and then some cables as well. So that is why some people are still experiencing an outage over there. And even if you look at that enclave very well, we've gone there to done education on several occasions. They are wiring system.
Right.
You know, that building is quite an old building, but the area is quite, and in fact, it's densely populated. So you've seen a lot of interconnections with the cable size not being the right one. We've gone there to do a couple of educations over there. And we've encouraged them that per the LI 2008, they should engage the service of a certified electrical wiring professional to ensure that their wiring is done properly. That's their internal wiring. However, the power supply or the feeder or the distribution line that serves them is one of our healthy feeders in the Ashanti West region. And for the last 3 weeks, we've not experienced any outage. And I think you would recall that on Monday, the Energy Minister was in Kumasi over an outage that occurred on Sunday. That outage did not affect them because we supplied them from the Ridge box supply point. But the challenge was coming from the Aomaso box supply point. So they didn't experience that problem as well.
Very well, Benjamin, we'll have to leave it here, but thank you so very much and we wish you well. Benjamin Obin NP is the Ashanti West Public Relations Officer for the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG. Well, let's still stay on this matter. We have on the phone line the Member of Parliament for Subin, Kofi Obri-Yabua, to share his thoughts on this development. Thank you so much for your time, Honourable. And now, as the MP for the area, what preliminary information have you gathered about the fire?
Thank you very much, and let me use your medium to greet the two people of Subin Ashanti. I had a call around 7 a.m. this morning. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yes, I had a call around 7 a.m. this morning.
Right.
After my morning devotion. And as a member of Parliament for Subin, I had no option than to rush to the airport. Unfortunately, I didn't get flights until 11:40.
Okay.
And I knew something devastating had happened to my constituency. That notwithstanding, unfortunately, when I got there, what I saw was very scary. For the past 50 years that I've been on this planet, I've never witnessed such a fire before in my life. I think it's the biggest in Ghana, in the history of Ghana. Just about 5 months ago, I used to go there and campaign.
Right.
So even with that data, I can assume that almost 2,000 stores were burnt.
Wow. In your own estimation, about 2,000 shops have been burnt?
Yes. Apart from that, we have people who also come there with tables and do business.
Exactly.
To earn a living. So the combined effect of people who trade there, I think they will see more than 3,000. And that's very, very, very huge.
Indeed.
Today is one of the darkest days in my life as a person and also as a member of Parliament for the good people of Subin.
Right.
But fortunately, the president also came around.
Yes.
And he himself was overwhelmed. I mean, he was overwhelmed with what he saw. And I don't know whether you listen to his interview. Go a long way to corroborate whatever I'm saying. But one thing that I will also advise is that let us cultivate the habit of insuring our edifice.
Right.
You understand?
Indeed.
If you give it the hands of these traders, they won't do it. So I advise states that important markets such as Makola, such as KJT, PZ, and those in Market Circle, in Takrady, those ones that give our people the livelihood. And don't forget that all these people, they also pay tax to the state.
Right.
I personally think that the state should absorb the insurance aspect of it. You understand?
Okay.
Because now state is going to bear all the cost.
Yeah.
And I can assure you that people that will be affected as a result of this fire will be exceeding more than 10,000. Because that enclave is not only managed or traded by people, only people in Subin. People come from Bantima, others come from Kuru, from all corners of Kumasi and beyond, and come and do business there. So it has actually affected a lot of people.
Right.
So let me use your medium to create the indulgence of the president. That the gravity of the fire and the havoc that this fire has caused goes beyond MP for Subin. I personally also think that is beyond the regional minister and the Kumasi Block MP.
Right.
Yes, today, let me greet my good brother, Subwati. He was with me throughout.
Right. Now, Honorable, looking at the CBD area, the Central Business District, and the level of congestion there, with what has happened today, are there any plans to improve fire safety measures within the CBD?
I personally think that in terms of developing our cities and towns, we should do them devoid of political influences. You understand? Today, what I heard from the fire service officer is that they were swift.
Right.
They got there early. But there was no access roads to enable them to do their work.
Right.
And sometimes people build in areas that they don't supposed to build. You understand?
Yeah.
You tell them that you can't do this, and their response is that you won't vote for you. I think that it's the right time for us to do the right thing and damn the consequence.
Right.
You understand? It's worrisome to the sense that I spent almost 5 hours there, and still they were finding it very difficult to stop this fire, to quench the fire.
Very well.
Because of access.
Right. Very well. Honorable, we'll have to leave it here, but we wish you well and the people of Subin, and hopefully the fire service is able to douse this fire and then life continues. Thank you so much for your time.
This is a national disaster.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I will create the indulgence of stakeholders to come to the aid of these traders. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable. That's the Member of Parliament for Subin, Kofi Obri-Abua, speaking to us regarding that fire outbreak in the Ashanti region, Adum, to be precise. This is the Channel One newsroom.